Mrs. Cullen, we're ready when you are.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Everybody please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Chenoweth, could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Banis Clemens? Ms. Batitsky?
Here.
Mrs. Blomgren?
Here.
Mrs. Chaikin?
Here.
Mr. Cormack?
Here.
Mrs. Cullen?
Here.
Mr. Rice?
Here.
Mr. Russell?
Here.
And Mr. Wers?
Here. Just want to, for the record, indicate that Mrs. Chaikin is participating by phone, as well as Solicitor Miller is also on the phone if we need him for any reason. Mrs. Cullen, if it would be appropriate, I would like to provide some information prior to the public comment and the votes this evening. Would that be okay?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mrs. Chenoweth, if you would. Oh, great. Just wanted to provide an overview of the timeline for the comprehensive plan. There were some conversations on social media in terms of this information being presented 24 hours prior to a vote. And so I just wanted to review the timeline that we followed for all of our comprehensive plans. The comprehensive plan process began almost exactly a year ago. At the very end of last school year, I don't know if it was actually the end of May or the beginning of June, Dr. Bolton, myself, and Dr. Scheid, we met with the representatives from the intermediate unit to discuss the recommendations to go through the comprehensive plan process. This is a state-led, every 3-year process. The intermediate unit, they provide lots of services to the 13 school districts in Bucks County. One of them is they run all of the comprehensive plan processes for the 13 school districts as well as the 3 CTE centers. And so they do this for every school district through the process. As they talked to us that day, they recommended that we have 2 parents, 2 business leaders, 2 board members, and 6 teachers or administrative members on the team, and that at times it was good to look for people who overlapped, people who might be a board member and a parent, or a business leader and a parent, because then they have many lenses and different hats that they wear. In July, we worked with various individuals to develop a master list of persons to invite. We asked input from the board, from our tech school, from the community college, from the intermediate unit, from our career pathways director, because that's the person who works in this building with most of the businesses, as well as our principals. At the beginning of the school year in September, we invited a total of 56 persons. 40 of them indicated an ability to attend, but there were 56 persons who were invited. Of those 56, 28 of them were district employees and 28 of them were not. The 28 who were not district employees represented parents, the school board, community members, business leaders, the Upper Bucks County Tech School, Bucks County Community College, and the intermediate unit. It was also in September when the annual goals were released to the school district, and the comprehensive plan was one of those annual goals that was discussed at that time. As well as in October, the annual RAMS report that is sent to all households, because I'd like to remind ourselves that when we send emails to the community, only 20% of the households in Penridge have school-aged children at any given time, which means there's 80% of our people who are not getting most of our communications if they're only through email. And so during the RAMS report, it was one of the pieces, and the process was discussed at that time. The comprehensive plan team, those 40 members that we talked about, they met 4 times during the school year between September and early March. In March of 2022, Dr. Scheid came to the superintendent's parent advisory and presented an overview of the plan. One of the purposes of doing it at that team, one of the things that the parent advisory members are to do, I have 2 members from each building, is they're to go back and then present on all of our presentations at the building level. And that's just another way to spread information to people who may not come to meetings or may not be reading board docs. On May 2nd, at the curriculum committee meeting, Dr. Scheid presented the full comprehensive plan, and that presentation was posted after the meeting as usual. On May 13th, the plan had been posted to our website, and there was a communication on that day with links to all 4 sections of the comprehensive plan that were sent to all families. In that email, it indicated that the comprehensive plan would be approved at the June 13th board meeting, which was the only regularly scheduled board meeting in June. What had happened, as we were pulling together this special meeting, we realized that a miscommunication caused that the approval was not on the June 13th board meeting, and we missed it. And so I asked, and we put it on this board meeting for June 22nd because the expectation was that we were going to approve it on June 13th. So I just wanted to remind people in terms of where that is. All of the information is still on our website if you want to look at the pieces as well as attached to tonight's agenda. Thank you, Mrs. Collins.
Thank you for providing that timeline. It's always good to have a reminder because we do so much throughout the year that you forget exactly what was done and when. So it's good to have a reminder of that. With that said, we'll move on to public comment. According to Policy 903, public comment, which is limited to 3 minutes, should be directed to the presiding officer rather than individual board members, district employees, or members of the public. For confidentiality and privacy rights, specific comments regarding particular individuals must be communicated privately to the school board and superintendent via email at psdschoolboard@penridge.org. And we have 2 individuals signed up for public comment. The first is Christina Hicks, and I would just ask that you state your name and municipality when you begin.
Hello, I'm Christina Hicks. I'm new to the district. I have not been able to come out yet the last few meetings, but I wanted to speak on the comprehensive plan. I've had great concerns of representation for this school board, for parents in the district, and for just in general. A comprehensive plan is supposed to be created with the input of representatives of the district and diversity of thought. There was exactly 1 parent representative that was listed, and a parent of a high school student who I'm guessing will have maybe a year or 2 left to even be in this district. I have elementary students in this district, so they're going to be here for a while. So I am very concerned about the comprehensive plan. I thought it stated that there was going to be 2 parents. Considering some of the comments I've heard about parent involvement, I would have thought that we'd want more parents in general. But again, I'm more concerned about representation. We have 20% was the latest data I could find for this school district of minority students. 17% are reduced or free school lunches. What representation do we have for them on these committees that are making decisions? Furthermore, can there be confirmation that there was representation of the disability community, the LGBTQ community, the ESL community, other than teachers? I appreciate the teachers' involvement in special education and ESL, but also where are the community members who would understand this part of your community? You're serving a lot of students, so there's a lot of people that are going to be affected by this. If you were lacking any of these, then you have not made a plan that will guarantee fair access to education for all of the students in your district, or diversity of thought. There have been people that have spoken about efforts to ensure diversity and equity in our education and how those efforts would be detrimental, but I'm very confused to how. Right now, all that we're asking for is that there's a seat at the table for other people. There were those who were angry about the request for representation and said, just take your children somewhere else. And that's great if you can afford it, but considering that 17% of your school district does free and reduced lunches, they're out of luck trying to get an education somewhere else, unless they get scholarships. The fact is that some of us, this is our only choice for education. And I read that the goal for this is to create 21st century students who have diversity of thought, that see people as unique. And yet I'm very concerned that the steering committee did not have representation when this was created. And I said this earlier in the school year when I was able to attend, that I wanted to know what efforts were being made to have a voice and have representation. And I apologize, I would have liked to come to other meetings, but this was as soon as I can get here. But I would ask that that be taken into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Ross McClellan.
Good evening, Ross McLennan, Hilltown. It's on. Okay. I'm reading a letter. The comprehensive plan is meant to be a guide to work within and goals to aspire for. I appreciate the goals and plan for elementary education, the Wellness Academy, the pull to further our technology capabilities and usage, and the intent towards college and career pathways. I do hope that for pathways you expand careers to local infrastructure, internships, and jobs, along with partnerships with trade schools. I'm a big fan of the work with Upper Bucks Technical School and hope the plan is to expand its capabilities and uses. It would also be fruitful to create a program specific to the high school that works with parents and students in these pathways so that we can address the growing college debt crisis. Is this coming through okay? Because I feel like it's cracking up. I am absolutely disgusted in the lack of transparency by this board and administration. No communication to seek interested parties for the steering committee. There was such a communication in 2019, and that resulted in 10 parents being able to represent us. No detail on the process or discussion, just a finalized product. You schedule a special session to vote with only a day for those that wish to attend or speak, a day's notice. You have a mandated 28-day span. You could have simply scheduled this vote upon introducing this plan for our view. You schedule no forum or public viewing channel to voice, though I understand otherwise from what you said earlier. You had a single parent on the committee. One, to make it worse, I hear this parent is taking their child out of the district to Faith Christian. Could be a rumor. This means we as parents had zero representation on the steering committee, zero. It makes it laughable that the newest board members ran on a platform of parents over politicians. I guess that only applied until they won. Finally, the removal of anything and everything in regard to the well-being of staff and students is simply cruel. Every other neighboring district has a directive around this, and all we have is empty words that look copy and pasted. Every individual has worth and deserves dignity, unless we do not agree with you, I suppose. You had a solid plan in 2019. Since then, you have canceled DEI twice, started a culture war with minorities and LGBTQIA+, and state that our current programs and policies are already handling our needs. The successes of our students will be in spite of you, as you lack the capacity, empathy, and reality to see you are hurting, marginalizing.
Your 3 minutes are up. Can you
Okay,
wrap up, please?
I'm gonna tell you that's from David O'Donnell. He wasn't able to make it because of the last minute planning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just for clarity, I do want to point out, thank you, Mr. McClellan, for acknowledging that some of the things alleged in the letter were clarified and shown to be not true, but I just want to underscore that fact. Okay, so our first item on the agenda is the superintendent's personnel and EDR report. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the superintendent's personnel and EDR reports.
Second.
Okay, moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Mrs. Chaikin, did you have any comments or questions?
No, I don't, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries 8-0. Then our next item is the 2022 to 2025 comprehensive plan. I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2022 to 2025 Penridge School District comprehensive plan.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's also seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Okay, all those in favor? Sorry, Ricky, did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 8-0. Thank you. Okay, and that was all the agenda items we had for tonight. So we are back to public comment. We don't have any other people signed up for public comment. Seeing no hands going up to want to make a public comment, then we'll come to announcements. An executive session will be held following tonight's meeting to discuss a personnel matter. Our next school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 22nd, 2022. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Mr. Alexander, would you let us know when the live stream is off, please? Thank you. Have a nice night, everyone.